Hi guys, Money Gaming here, hope you're well, and here is my rundown of my two GT Retro League races on the weekend. I've got B Lobby and C Lobby. Now B Lobby wasn't particularly good for me. As you can see from this race, I got a good position from this little coming together with the wall and Havoc, TUS Havoc there getting in a bit deep. And then I was looking at battling with GTR Mergenator here and just enjoying the race between me and him, because I know me and him share roughly the same pace, so it was looking like it was going to be a good race in B Lobby. We should have been able to keep the positions or at least exchange them as we were going through the race, but that wasn't to be. So this is now the third lap after the first warm-up lap and the second running lap, and as we come down here, the Finbar, who has apologised for this move, gets it completely wrong, comes in with too much pace, locks up his brakes, takes a shallow angle and goes straight into the side of me, puts me into the tyres, massive damage. I have to pit. Now it wasn't all lost at this point, because I thought I can take my pit early and I can struggle with worn tyres and I might be able to gain a few positions back and at least get myself in the top 5. So as you come out, I'm thinking, right, full attack mode. So I go around the corner and out of nowhere I see that WRT Craggerton has put it into the wall. And I thought, oh, I'll take that place. So I go around the outside of him and sneak up into, I think, what was currently about 12th place. I want to say 11th, but I think it was 12th place. And so we go through this section. We've done it a few times. So I think this is about lap 6 now. Me and him have been racing. And he just gets a better drive off here. I'm going a bit tentatively because I didn't want to lock up and cause an issue. But I also didn't want to lose the place. So I've gone defensive. And I've got on the inside, he's on the outside. I managed to keep my line nice and defensive, come through here, he does the cutback and then pit stop manoeuvres me and puts me into the wall. Massive damage. The Bluebird is now like totaled. I ended up running 4 seconds a lap slower after this, and to add insult to injury, as I started to get going, who's to overtake me but GTR Mergenator, meaning I'm now a lap down after doing a pit stop. So I wasn't too pleased with that, and that was sort of the end of the race for me. I ended up 13th and relegated down to C Lobby. But C Lobby was much more fun. There was contact, and you see that, but it was much more fun. So as we go through, you've got only 5 of Clover's, you've got Finbar, and you've got WRT Craggerton ahead of me, and you've got DOR Begjanet and DOR Keith 222 behind them, and also looming in the back there you've got Cornwall. So, and the reason I say looming in the back there is you'll see later on in the race. So as we come onto the start finish straight, I'm thinking I'll give them all a bit of room. I don't want to go steaming into the back of them. I'm pretty sure I could get the jump on them straight away, but that is going to make it really, really tight going into the first turn. So I thought, you know what, just let it go, take the speed down there, see what you can do halfway around the lap. So we go down into the first turn, and that Mercury is ridiculously quick. It is very, very quick in a straight line, and under braking I make so much time up, it's ridiculous, all over the back of him now. And we come through this little section here, the two M1s up ahead of Clover and Finbar doing a lot of jousting for position, trying to take each other out is what it looked like from my position at the time, but they were just having a really, really close battle. And as we come around here, I'm again crawling over the back of WRT Craggerton. They go too wide, the M1s, down into the next left, and me and Craggerton are just gaining on them consistently because they are fighting so hard for those positions. So I look here for a little manoeuvre, but I decided not to go in because I thought the door was going to get slammed, which it did. Finbar and Clovers come together, go into the wall, Craggerton gets caught up in it, and Begjanet moves up, and so does Keith 222, and I think at that point Cornwall decides to take Keith 222 as well, as I make a move round the outside of only 5 of Clovers, get down round the hairpin, and I'm securing my position of first. So again we go down the start finish straight. And I'm feeling quite confident here. I'm thinking I can make sure with the Bluebird, as long as I don't outbrake myself into this first left-hander, I should be able to control the pace or even extend my lead as we go through this little section. And as we come in, Clovers does catch up quite significantly, and he gives me a little tap here, but immediately says sorry. But he's just sort of not braking quick enough, and as we go into this next little complex of corners, it gives me a tap here, sends me straight into the tyres, but I managed to keep it going. The Becjonet comes through with massive speed because he's managed to ace that corner. He goes around the outside, comes into here. I'm going to do the cutback, and I come up on the, well, I'm on the left hand side of him, so I now have the racing line, and you couldn't see because I was on bonnet cam where he was, so I turn in to take the racing line, not realising that he's probably still there. So I look on his on board just to see whereabouts he was on the replay. So as you can see here, he's got massive speed, does the move around the outside. I do the cutback because the Bluebird's got good acceleration, but now, see, it's a bit 50-50 here because I've moved across to take the racing line. He's in the way, but I can't see. There's a little bit of contact with him and Clover's there, and Clover's just goes off into distance. So a couple of laps later, two M1s ahead of me, one of my teammate, TUS Havoc, have taken each other out. I'm not sure what happened there. And I'm fighting with a guy in a Ferrari. Now I had no idea what the pace was like in this Ferrari, so I wasn't quite sure whether I'd get the move done, because it could have had incredible pace down the straight, it really could. Had no idea what was going on. So as I'm driving down the start-finish straight, I'm thinking, right, how defensive do I go? Do I try and take my normal racing line, or do I take a defensive line into this corner? But by the time we got there, he's a long way back. So I just decided to take the racing line, ease it through, and that manoeuvre was done. So another couple of laps later, I'm chasing down DOR Keith 222 and taking chunks of time out of him. But I had been doing that for a couple of laps. I outbroke myself into a few corners, gave him a bit of leeway, but then I did just start clawing it back, and hats off to him. He's a very clean racer. We didn't have any coming togethers, and when he saw that I was going to make a move, he done a blocking manoeuvre, and that worked in my favour. As you'll see, we come down here, I look down the right hand side, showing that I'm going there. He comes in with a nice block to try and stop me going in there, which means that he's had a shallow angle, so I can now take him on this side, go into the nice hairpin. I've already got the move made. He couldn't really answer it, and that gave me a position that I believe at that point was 5th. So going down the straight, I'm thinking, right, I've got a few more laps in me. I need to crack out some really good laps and then get a pit in. So I'm going down, and I was going to pit straight away, but I start seeing LRT, the team LRT, and a guy called R8. I can't remember the rest of his name, sorry for that. But he looked like he was a little bit struggling for pace. He was doing a good enough job, he was being very clean, but he looked like he was struggling for pace, and I was thinking, right, I can probably take him, get a few good laps in, and maybe give myself a gap to these guys before they all start pitting. Because at this point I didn't need to pit. There was a little bit of damage, but the car was fine. So as we come up to here, I start sizing him up at about the same time as I did size up Keith 222. So we're going down this back straight here, and I do pretty much the same manoeuvre. I'm a little bit further back, but I make up so much time under braking because R8 just decides to brake a little bit harder than really is needed to. He doesn't use the full extension of the track. It gives me plenty of space. Take my hat off to you, mate. You done a really nice job there. You didn't defend too hard, and you knew I was coming through, so you just gave me the space, and there was no need for you to lose any time there, which is the best way to be. So after this, I did a few more laps, and unfortunately, I came up against some back markers, which you're going to see shortly, or a back marker. And I know it's not this guy's fault because it's the first time that he's been a back marker. But I'm just going to show you quite how much he did slow me down as we were coming down this start-finish straight. So I can see the back marker up ahead. It was the blue Ferrari again, so I'm about to come around and lap him, and I'm thinking, right, Cornwolf's up ahead of him. I need to get past this guy to take Cornwolf. Cornwolf was in third position. I've pitted now, I've come out, I'm in fourth, and he does this. He parks on the apex, and then he's weaving all over the place. I couldn't get past him. I'm thinking, you're a back marker, so I shout down the mic, mate, you're a back marker, get out of the way. I realised once I got past him, it isn't Cornwolf, but Cornwolf is up ahead. It is actually my teammate, Bullet, who's had an atrocious race. He just got caught up in everyone else's problems. And then a good couple of laps later, this is lap 16, I believe, I caught right up to the back of Cornwall, but after pushing and pushing and pushing, I managed to catch him up. Now I went for the little move on the apex of the hairpin, and it didn't pay off, but I'm now thinking I've got one opportunity here, because that M1 is pretty much equal to the Bluebird. So as we come flying down here, I'm looking to the outside, I show him the inside, do a little bit of a Danny Ricciardo move, and I go to the outside here, outbrake myself nicely down into first gear to make sure I get maximum braking from the engine as well. Managed not to lock up, come through, and that was pretty much it, because I was chasing down Clovers for second position. WRT Craggadon got first, but there was I needed another couple of laps. By the time we got to lap 18, I was 100 foot behind Clovers, and I just couldn't close the gap anything more than that. As we come around the hairpin, he crossed the line 100 foot ahead of me. I've been Muddy Gamer. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you've liked this. If you have, I'll try and do one every week. If you haven't, I won't bother. So I'll be Muddy Gamer, and I hope to see you in the next one.